Kevin Roshan Samuels C. was an American internet personality and image consultant. He rose to popularity in 2020 and was considered a polarizing figure based on his YouTube and Instagram live streams discussing modern society and relationships. Kevin Samuels was born in Oklahoma City. He attended Millwood High School and studied chemical engineering at the University of Oklahoma, but was not able to graduate due to having cancer at age in a March 6, 2021 YouTube video. Samuels said he was 51 years old on a live podcast, placing his year of birth at 1969 or 1970, and later news reports corroborate that he was 53 at the time of death, while some earlier news reports at the time of death report his age at or 57, placing his year of birth at 1965 or 1966. Samuels worked in the marketing industry before starting his own image consulting firm in 2013. He accumulated 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube, 1.2 million followers on Instagram, and thousands on several other online platforms like Twitter and TikTok. The New York Times wrote he built an image as a plain-spoken, hypermasculine authority who advocated for strict gender roles in which men assumed predominance. Samuels gained traction in mainstream hip-hop culture, interviewing Nicki Minaj and T.I., whilst also making guest appearances on No Jumper Joe Budden TV and Vlad TV. In 2022, Samuels made a cameo appearance on the television series Atlanta in the episode Rich Wigga, Poor Wigga. In February 2022, Samuels appeared in a music video in which he acted as a therapist and dating coach for rapper Future on the single Worst Day. He also interviewed popular Instagram models like Brittany Renner and reality TV stars like Tommy Lee. Several prominent guests, such as Minaj Marlon Wayans and Tamar Braxton, showed support for his work. Samuels' comments on men and women were sometimes controversial. As an image consultant, he often asked women who called his show asking for dating advice to rate themselves based on what he called the perceived sexual marketplace value for dating. He then critiqued women based on dress size, height, and weight according to his perception of their sexual marketplace value. He stressed a belief that some women had unrealistically high standards for the types of men they should be dating, while also criticizing men for being poor or overweight. In addition, he strongly criticized the Black community for failing to meet traditional values. Samuels' critics decried him as being actively misogynar and a part of the Black manosphere, whereas his supporters defended him as an advocate for traditional values. YouTube star Kevin Samuels died of hypertension, a Georgia medical examiner concluded. Samuels, 53, died suddenly May 5 after he complained of chest pain and collapsed, authorities said. He was at his apartment and taken to a hospital, but could not be resuscitated, they said. Chief Medical Examiner Karen E. Sullivan's findings were reported Monday by E! News. It is my opinion that Kevin Samuels died due to hypertension, high blood pressure, Sullivan wrote in the report dated July 14. The manner of death was ruled natural. Samuels had 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube, where he often focused on dating and relationships. Critics often saw his opinions as attacks on women. In an April video, he labeled women who are older than 35 and unmarried as leftovers, prompting an online outcry. Other videos were used as platforms to rate women's appearances. Many have pointed out the misogynistic nature of his media. His fans, however, have defended him as having a backbone in the era of cancel culture. Recommended. Shortly after his death, his mother, Beverly Samuels Birch, lamented learning about her son's death through social media. "All I'm doing is requesting that people pray for us," she said at the time. The chief examiner wrote that Samuels had thicker than normal heart chambers, specifically the left and right ventricles, a condition described by medical science as ventricular hypertrophy. Toxicology testing found amiodarone, a drug used to treat abnormal heart rhythms, and atenolol used to treat hypertension, in his system, the report states. Toxicology testing found amiodarone, a drug used to treat abnormal heart rhythms, and atenolol used to treat hypertension, in his system, the report states. Black Americans suffer high levels of hypertension. An estimated 55% have it, compared both to other Americans and to people of African descent elsewhere in the world, researchers say. A study of hypertension and sudden unexpected deaths, published in 2019, focused on 477 deaths in Nigeria, blamed on high blood pressure and its impacts, and found the average age of the deceased was 52, with left ventricular heart failure as the most common cause of death. The causes of hypertension in Black Americans are complex and likely include the impacts of racism and segregation, including limited access to medical care, medication, and healthy foods, medical researchers say. Scientists have identified 17 variants of a gene associated with hypertension in Black Americans. However, more research is needed in order to understand what the gene does and how variants may protect or predispose a person to high blood pressure, reads a statement on the 2019 study by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. Samuels was married and divorced twice. He had a daughter. On May 5, 2022, Samuels was found unresponsive in his Atlanta apartment after a woman who had stayed with him the night prior called 911, telling the operator Samuels was complaining of chest pains and that he had collapsed. Samuels was rushed to a hospital where he later died. According to the medical examiner's report, Samuels had hypertension, which contributed to his death. The YouTuber, a self-described image consultant, was often seen giving advice to African American men and women. His blunt advice attracted admirers and critics alike. Kevin was often seen wearing a finely tailored suit and supporting traditional values. He also urged his fans to follow rigid gender roles. The internet personality had more than 1.5 million subscribers on his YouTube channel and over 1.2 million followers on Instagram. His last upload on both YouTube and Instagram was in May 2022. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office conducted the autopsy on the self-proclaimed relationship guru following his death in May. There were only 3 things present in his blood when he died, the office said: amiodarone, which treats abnormal heart rhythms associated with rapid heart rate, atenolol for high blood pressure, and caffeine. Samuels had a history of high blood pressure, according to the medical examiner's office. While the cause of his death was listed as hypertension, the manner in which he died was classified as natural in the report. A 911 call released in May sheds light on the moments leading up to his death as a woman, who identified herself as a nurse, tried to get help for him at his Atlanta apartment. Samuels was taken to Piedmont Hospital, according to APD's report. He was known for giving tongue-in-cheek dating advice and rose to YouTube stardom for his takes modern-day